Reverend Canon Chris, I just asked you a difficult question. I asked you about just what keeps you awake, what keeps you awake at night when you're thinking about our young people. Now I want to kind of reverse the question. I mean, part of it is you named just the issues that some of our young people face, like mental health, and you can name a lot more issues that young people are facing in the reality of their lives. And then when we invite young people in, those aren't just issues that they're facing, but those become our issues.
Yeah.
That's part of what, you know, their burden becomes our burden. And the overwhelming nature of what they're facing now becomes overwhelming for us. And so it makes sense that we stay up at night. It makes sense. And part of the reason why we stay up at night is because it's so difficult to think that they may always, you know, they are going to continue to struggle with this maybe for a while. We can't fix it. It's some things that we can't do anything about. We don't have control over. And so I guess my question is, how do you go to sleep? How do you find peace? Like, where do we lay down, you know, our own kind of.
That's, I mean, that's a great question. I think, so here's some things, I think. One is that we hold this together. So I think if there's just one adult and one young person, and that, like you say, that the adult coming alongside that person and doing the work of Christ about being a burden bearer for them, but that adult needs people around them. And so for us, you know, it means that we need to provide supervision for our mentors, or just somewhere that our mentors, if things get overwhelming for them, or if they've heard, there's this, I've just heard this disclosure or something like this, and it's too much for me, is that there's clear lines at where those people, so there's support for those people doing that. But also that in all of our work with a young person, we're a community. So no one person has to take the whole burden of one person. That feels to me like that's the gift of the body, isn't it? That's the gift of the community. The second is that I'm not Jesus Christ. I'm not so, you know, the lesson of John the Baptist, you know, are you the one to come? Are you the Messiah? And he said, no. I think the trouble I'm a church leader is that there's sometimes that I want to be, and there's other times that other people want me to be too, but I'm not. And that's really good news. So I'm not the Messiah. I can't solve this young person's stuff. I can't bring them to the point that I want them to get to. And so all my worrying and concern for them, I can't just meet all those needs. And so the third thing then surely is prayer. Surely is that, you know, if I'm up regularly about one young person, then I just need to load that I just need to keep coming to God and saying, there's this young person, and here, can you bear this for me, with me, and going to one in prayer who is far more concerned for this young person than I am, has got far more skin in the game for this young person than I have ever had, has got far more hope and a far more investment in this young person that I have. And so for me, that is the stuff that comes in on there. Well, of course I'm going to bear a cost to this, but that with bearing this cost together, that I'm not the person who's going to be able to solve this. I don't have to put myself under the pressure that I'm going to be the person who's going to solve this, but that we can constantly, daily go to the one who has got everything we need and lay these people before him and say, you know, this one that you love is sick. Can you come?